It's time to dive into our Week 11 game preview, starting things off with the Cleveland Browns taking on the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. I can't say this is in Buffalo because, well, it's not in Buffalo. News came down yesterday that this game is being moved from Buffalo to Detroit due to a bad, it's actually really bad, guys. It's actually really bad. A really bad snowstorm in Buffalo. Some people are referring to it as thunder snow. It's really bad. It's very dangerous in Buffalo. There's even problems going on right now with the travel of the team getting to Detroit because they're starting to put travel restrictions down on those traveling out of Buffalo because of how bad it has already gotten. And it's going to get worse there. So this game has been moved to Buffalo. With that being said, throughout this entire week, the line has gone up or really has gone down continuously because of the conditions that we were expecting to be played in Buffalo. It was this over-under was down to 42 points at one point because of the snow. It's back up now because now it's being played at Ford Field in Detroit. Perfect conditions. Ain't no snow hitting that field. Buffalo's favored by 8 points. The over-under now is 49.5. Bills, Browns. Aaron, what are you looking for in this game?
Yeah, I'm looking for the Bills to bounce back, and specifically Josh Allen to get over some of the hurdles that he had over the past couple of weeks. The interceptions in the red zone, leading the league in interceptions. I think that's something that this is what we do. If this was a guy that was Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott or Derek Carr or somebody that led the league in interceptions, we'd be all over this guy. But it's Josh Allen, and we've seen greatness at times, and he's so fun to watch play, and we don't say anything about it. The red zone interceptions, the turnovers, it's got to stop. It's starting to look like Josh Allen from 2017, and that Josh Allen can't win a Super Bowl. So the Bills rely so much on what he does, both in the running game and the passing game, that he has got to make smarter decisions and be better with the football. And he said it. Sometimes he's done some things. But I saw this on TikTok, and I love watching TikToks, especially when watching players dissect what they saw and what they did. Patrick Peterson talked about the game planning that his defensive coordinator told him, Josh Allen, specifically the last interception, but even before then, he dissected and said, I knew exactly what Josh Allen was going to do. When I saw the coverage, he said, Gabe Davis lines up. Gabe Davis runs 3 routes: a go ball, a dig ball, a post ball. So only 3 routes Gabe Davis runs. He's like, I've watched so much film on him. He said, when this lineup and these 2 wide receiver sets, and now they're in twins or double stacks on each side, Gabe Davis is going to do this. If you stay home and stay in his hip pocket, Josh Allen will force it. You will get the interception, and the game will be over. Patrick Peterson said, that's all I kept thinking about on that play. He's like, double stacks. They motion him into double stacks. He's like, I'm going to stay in his hip pocket. Josh Allen's going to try to squeeze it in. I'm going to catch the ball, and the game's going to be over. And that's exactly what happened. And so this goes to the NFL guys' preparation, but it goes to Josh Allen also needs to understand that these defenses get paid too, that his arm strength is not always going to bail him out, and that he has to start maybe he should be on the Kyler Murray plan, studying a little bit more, knowing what these guys are doing. Because if tendencies like that can be picked up from the Minnesota Vikings and what they do defensively, what do you think the elite corners in this league, and I'm not saying Patrick Peterson's not elite, he's a veteran, but some of these elite corners are going to understand and see that, and it's going to make it harder and harder, especially as the playoffs get around. So Josh Allen is really the key here. He has to get back on track, and the Bills will be fine. I do believe he does get back on track this week.
How much of that is on we talk about all the time, you can't be one-dimensional in this league unless you're the Kansas City Chiefs. And you have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. That's a little bit different. But we talk a lot about teams that they can't be one-dimensional. You have to get the run game involved. The Buffalo Bills pass on 56% of their 56% of their first downs alone, highest in the NFL. This team passes a whole lot. Normally, you look at first downs, it's like that's your tone setter. You run the ball a lot. That's not what happens for the Buffalo Bills. And when you look at them as a whole, they're passing a whole lot more than running the ball and giving the ball to Devin Singletary. Aaron, how much of that is on that running game? Do you think that that needs to be more of a part for this team, or is this?
I actually like the philosophy. I think first down is actually a better passing down, and you run on second down to create. If you pass on first down and get nothing, you run on second down to create a shorter third down. I don't mind 56% pass on first down. I don't mind that the Bills pass a lot. I think their run game is much more volume heavy this year than it was under Brian Dable. And I think Josh Allen has to be factored into that run game. And that's part of what they do. It's like when Tom Brady wouldn't run the ball and he would throw those little 2-yard hitches. It was an extension of the run game. Josh Allen is an extension of the Bills' run game when he's back there scrambling. I'm okay with it. The Bills just have to, they got to find a way to close games. They need to run it when it matters. It's the same thing I say about the Chiefs. You don't have to run early in games. But when it's the fourth quarter and you're leading and you need to put the game away, you have to be able to run the football because you have to keep the clock going. That's what's more important to me is when they run it, not how much they run it or whether it's first down or second down. But when it matters, when you're ahead in the fourth quarter, can you sustain drives by running the football to keep the clock running? And I think that's really the significant part of the Bills running game.
AJ, on the Browns side of things, obviously a big underdog in this one. Their offense is led by Jacoby Brissett. It's not like this flashy offense. They got guys that can make plays happen. Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the NFL right now. You used to be a chef, right? You used to cook up stuff in the kitchen, right?
Chef Johnson.
Chef Johnson, the Chef Fonzo over here, just cooking up with the pot.
Chef Fonzo.
Stop it.
Maybe it's now a restaurant. Maybe we
5-star restaurant, baby.
Yeah, maybe we're switching it from the law firm to the restaurant. But either way, you a chef, you know recipes. What's the recipe got to be for the Browns to defeat the Bills here? What does it got to look like?
We're going to pick up right where you guys just left off with what the Bills need to do, and that's for the Browns to run the ball. And we talk about this. I feel like it's a recurring theme when we talk about the Browns. Their identity is run the ball, and this is where it's going to work best. It sucks for the Browns that they moved it out of Buffalo because it would have helped them. If this was a game on the ground in a battle, I would take Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt 2 times on Sunday. But now we're in Ford Field and we're in the dome, and now this Bills offense can spread the ball out. Your recipe is exactly what the Commanders did to the Eagles. You run that ball, you hold that clock, and you don't give them the possession. The Buffalo Bills defense, as of late, you can run on them. They've surrendered 529 yards over the past 3 games on the ground. Cleveland's ran for just about 400 over the past 2 yards. If you get Kareem Hunt a little bit more involved, I don't give a damn if you give Dearness Johnson some runs in this game. Run the ball. Run the ball, make them have to guard the run, and then let your guys, Amari Cooper and DPJ, do something. I talked about that secondary receiver in DPJ last week. This is a guy who's been making plays. He's got over 50 yards each game since week 4. Has been catching the ball at a high clip. More often than not, he's catching it, not dropping it. So you have playmakers on the outside. If you can establish a run, if you can hold this clock, and if you can make the plays down the field when you need to, I think you'll be fine. I'm not saying you're absolutely going to win because I don't know if your defense will be able to stop the best shots of the Bills. And make no mistake, I believe you're getting the best shot from the Bills this week. Yeah. But you can keep this a closer game than the score, than these odds have it, if you can run this ball and keep that clock up. So that's where I want you to be at.
I was literally going to cap off your talk about the running game with mentioning what the Commanders did to the Eagles on Monday Night Football. You mentioned it. A little bit over 40 minutes of possession for the Commanders on Monday, and a little bit over 19 minutes of possession for the Eagles on Monday. That's exactly what it has to look like if you're the Cleveland Browns in this game, because Buffalo's going to come out swinging. They are going to come out firing. The weather is not going to be a factor in this one. You can't look at that at all. You look at this Bills team who has been struggling as of late with their interception. Josh Allen, his interceptions. I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 34-14 Bills. I think that the fact that it got moved to Detroit only helps Buffalo. They've got to play in Detroit on Thursday for Thanksgiving following this game. So it's going to be a game. I mean, they're going to be comfortable in the city of Detroit for the next week. And they're going to beat the Browns 34-14. Aaron, what you got?
Yeah, the NFL set Buffalo up nice here. Fun fact, Buffalo last played in Detroit in 2014. Last time this weather caused them to move, they played in Detroit at the same Ford Field, and they they played the New York Jets. So interesting.
38-3.
Yeah, they handled the Jets. So I got Buffalo obviously in this one. I think also the weather, not having that weather helps Buffalo more. I think they can come back with a vengeance. 37-20. I think it's high scoring, and Buffalo gets back on track. Josh Allen has a nice day here. 37-20 Buffalo.
I thought I was going to be the meanest of them with this spread. You guys are murking me. I only went 31-20. But either way, Buffalo clean sweep, as Vinny likes to say. Sorry, I took your line there, but we got it. Buffalo gets it 31-20. Get back on track. It's time for them to make that run.
I got to turn my focus more towards these clean transitions, so I'm not going to say it's a clean sweep, but it is a clean sweep of the Bills over the Cleveland Browns.